The longest trip that I've ever been on would be 75 odd Ks.
Why I'm doing this trip, I don't really know.
I'm most nervous about the amount of food I can fit on my bike.
It's just everything combined is making me a bit nervous.
OnWORD, World Off-Road Riding Department, is a non-profit youth mountain bike organisation based in Aotearoa, New Zealand. We're on a mission to enable growth through adventure. The concept of OnWORD was to take WORD from its original location in Wellington and travel down to one of its new locations of Wānaka. We knew we had to do something epic to celebrate this massive journey. The initial Zoom call, actually, it started with an email, and all the email said was, do you want to go on an epic adventure?
I think it will be some sort of absolutely stupid trip in WORD, like in true WORD fashion, where we just go and ride in the rain for like 5 days straight.
So yeah, when we got on, I think there was a bit of like, oh yeah, what's Ash thought of now? and while that's cool, like, I mean, yes, I planted the seed for this trip, but they took it on. This was their adventure and they were gonna do it their way.
They'll do stuff for WORD that they won't do for us. There's never a complaint about going and doing something with WORD. As soon as Ash comes up with an idea, they're up for it.
So it must have been about a month out of the trip. I got a phone call from one of the parents and said, hey, I'm getting a little bit nervous now about the route. And while we had these chats anyway, I think that it was just the reality of whoa, we're about to spend 10 days traveling over 900 kilometers across an entire country. Certainly not a flat country. And so that this trip was never going to be, it was gonna be hard. Like this wasn't set to be something easy.
We had started pretty much most of us the biggest trip of our lives so far at midnight. Getting on and off the ferry, we had no clue what we were getting ourselves into. And I think looking back now, while that was awesome, we definitely should have planned this more.
In my mind, it was just like, oh yeah, we've just been talking about doing this, we're not actually gonna do it. And then we're on the ferry, it like feels very real.
Working in the mountain air, got more than he bargained when he came upon a bear.
That way down.
When the fight became impending, well, we knew to stand.
I think the trip just proved like how much I could do. As in, I went in being very, very nervous. And then, like, first day, I was like, oh, you know, this is all right. And then it just kept kind of getting better and better.
Just a boy with conviction.
I think I went in with a mindset that it was going to be extremely excruciating. And I was definitely pleasantly surprised at how doable it was.
Our upwards cheers. I'm soaking my shoes, they've made a few puddles. They're not dry yet, but it's okay, we'll live.
Not much stronger than a sling, but he knew he was mighty when that giant came on the scene. When the fight became impending, well, we knew to stand his ground. He could gaze upon his history See the victory in the ground. Every stone of his remembrance will let the record show. Just a boy.
I think it was about day 3 or 4, after I'd had some really long, rough days trying to keep up and just exhausting myself too early in the day, that I realized it was so much more fun just to go at my own pace. And if that meant I was riding alone, that's fine. I just enjoyed riding my bike.
We definitely rode into fitness, and I don't know if it was like physical fitness or just like mental resilience, but like every day felt easier. Your body was like, I do this now, this is what I do. I get up and I ride at least 100 Ks and then I go to bed. And I think that everybody felt that.
I was most nervous about not physically, like being able to finish days. And then those first kind of 3 days, I realized that actually it was, you just got to keep pedaling.
I learned that I don't give myself enough credit for how deep I can dig. I think it was real cool to see that. And sometimes you have to be put in those really tough situations to figure out just how far you can go.
But it's silence I can't stand.
I have learnt that I can be pretty determined to ride up a hill or go fast in a certain section if I want to, which has been really cool.
It's built within the blood. The hope for redemption is felt in every flood.
And then I kind of, you slip into a rhythm, and then the days just go by so quickly, and all of a sudden on like day 7, I think it was, I looked at a map of the South Island for the first time since we left Picton. I'm like, oh my god, we're so much further south than I thought we were. Well, we're in it.
You got me hurted, you got me worried.
I thought you were about to say, like, who do you admire and who is a real pain in the ass on this trip?
The most consistent person, both on and off the bike, would have been Malachi.
Oh, it would have to be Malachi.
I think Malachi.
I think it's gotta be Malachi.
For me, Malachi.
Malachi. The guy's a beast. He's out riding his mountain bike now. Like, we finished 3 hours ago and he's still going.
He always had energy for everything.
He was just this like endless wellspring of energy and enthusiasm.
I admire Malachi for how much he could just keep going, and like he's out riding his mountain bike now.
He's just like, you'd be stopping and I'd be like hunched over my dry bags just trying to like get a breath in, and he'd be like doing skids on the side of the road or wheelies up the hill. Be like, geez, like I'll have what he's having.
I chose to do this trip to try something new. I've never done much of this before, and a 10-day South Island adventure sounded like an awesome thing to do to finish my year. The qualities that I brought were probably in my head, maybe enthusiasm. I feel like I was pretty upbeat the whole trip. I feel like quite a few people had their highs and lows, but I sort of just kept a positive vibe the whole way. I think is probably my best quality.
I
I expected it to be really off the grid, if that makes sense. I thought that it was going to be like living off what we could carry, just burning away on my gas. But in reality, it was pretty luxurious. I mean, we stayed indoors more nights than we were actually in our tents. We had cafe stops every single day, so it was more glamorous than I expected. More like we were doing this for fun and not like we were doing this because like we had to get there, you know?
I went into the trip with just like no expectations and just really neutral to it. It was really important to prove to myself that I could do it. I feel a really massive sense of achievement that I've been able to ride over some massive passes and see some beautiful country.
Are you ready, dear? Oh, we must be sure there's no turning back once we're out the door. Leave your message here on the telephone, cause we've no idea when we're
I think I expected this trip to be a little bit harder. In my head it was more of a tramp. You know, you go to the supermarket and you stock up food for 3 or 4 days and sort of be out in the wild without much help or resource if anything went wrong. But we were sort of, going through towns every day or two. So if you ran out of food, you could pop into a supermarket or grab a pie from a shop.
As I was riding, it definitely was really hard. By the 3rd or 4th day, my body was hurting, and just trying to get my muscles warmed up and just trying to get moving was really hard. So I knew my body would just keep going, but my brain just didn't want it to. While I was struggling so much, I relied on a lot of other people, and I'm so grateful for that I had such good people around me to help me out and to get me through. It was harder than I expected, but then at the same time it was so much more fun than I expected to.
My knee really gave out day 4, and I think actually the hardest was kind of flipping from feeling really good and like positive about my riding to like not really being able to ride at all, and then having to really quickly change my expectations about the rest of the trip. And I appreciate that I kind of have a different lens, and I kind of had both the outsider and insider kind of perspective, and to have the opportunity to film and be part of this part of it as well was really unique.
I knew that everyone was going to have like a moment where we were just like not happy, and I definitely did too. I tried to bring optimism to the table. I mean, yeah, it got slowly less optimistic as we went through, but I thought I held it in pretty good.
I kind of thought we would just start in the morning. People would start when they want and meet at the end of the day. And that was absolutely what did not happen. In the morning, they all left together as a group, and we all stopped at the cafe, and along the way you would see people, you'd see Matt dropping back to then be able to pull people along. And I just thought that was so incredible that everyone really was working together in a way that I think you don't see a lot of times with adults. This was really special.
It's hard to let go
It was really amazing to see on this trip that that the word values came to life. They were doing them. They were embracing change, from changing routes to changing weather. They were connecting with each other and with themselves and with the community that they were traveling through. Yeah, they really did enjoy each moment.
This feels like the circle's complete. Like they've gone from like participant, like I remember teaching them when they were, some of them like 12 and upwards, and now they're like young adults and they're in the wild, and it feels like this is the last mission. It's just like the process is finished, they're out in the world, and they've just like nailed this trip. We didn't need to be there, and we don't need to be there for the next one. So it's really exciting.
Word has given not only me but all of us like a really great sense of kind of self-confidence, and that attitude where, you know, just try it, and more often than not it works out and you can surprise yourself really easily. I think we all surprised ourselves on this trip.
I think Word is going to keep growing. It's gone from 12 kids to we're up at like 400 or something now. In 9 or 10 years it's going to be thousands of kids and this absolute beast of an organisation. That's going to feel kind of weird to have known what it came from, of just this tiny little core group of people.
I think in 10 years' time, Word will still have the same awesome vibe. I think it will just be bigger. And I really hope that Word can stay true to its core values. And I think with the people instructing and the younger instructors and the assistant instructors coming through that I see, they totally carry the Word vibe with them. And it's really exciting to see.
I feel like what makes Word so strong is the values that the people who are running Word hold. And I feel like as long as those are being passed on to the next generation, it doesn't matter where Word's going to end up. I think it'll be good regardless.
I was already friends with most of these people, but I feel like I know them much more on a deeper level. It's kind of like a shared trauma kind of thing. Not that it was traumatic, it was very fun, but it just kind of shows that like biking connects us all. And I also just learned that it is possible to ride everywhere, I guess.
I don't think it's still really kicked in what we've done. I'm sure that might come tomorrow when I'm sitting on the aeroplane home, but I think it feels great, and it should feel great because we've gone a long way.
There were definitely low points, but I think it was outweighed by all the high points. Just so much great riding and awesome scenery. It was somewhat of a like a capstone on my time with Word. Super cool to be able to kind of have one last big experience through Word.
really glad that I did. And I think that it was really cool to kind of mark, almost for some of us, like the end of our childhoods in Word. Like, it was kind of crazy that a bunch of us started when we were so little and now we're all adults, and it was cool to have a trip that marks like, no, you guys are all instructors now. Like, you can do whatever you want. And I think that was really, really cool to be a part of that.
How are you feeling, Ollie?
Not good.
Yeah. Can you explain to the camera what's happening?
Hay fever.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, and if you look around, there's lots.
And Ash has been in a mad fist fight.
Lots
both
of
sides. How's the other person?
hay fever. The fever of the hay has got us.
From afar,